What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel for another review. And as you can see, we're getting ready to talk Fear the Walking Dead, and this is going to be episode 5, Honey. Now, this is going to have spoilers here, so if you haven't seen the episode, obviously come back after you have. Now, this episode, I mean, it does a complete 360, but let's start from the beginning and work our way through it. Now, Dwight and Sherry, and now after a super emotional episode 3 that I just couldn't believe it, like these type of things don't happen, and with all the clues that he's left all this time, and from finally able to reconnect with her, it was just an emotional scene. So now we're seeing the two of them starting this episode off, and lover man Dwight is in the building. He got the candles lit, they laying down. I mean, for a minute I didn't know what I was watching until Dwight turned his face sideways. I was like, oh yeah, this is Fear the Walking Dead here. But I mean, like, Dwight is head over heels with his wife. Like, at this point now, you know, everything that he's worked for and every bit of survival in him was all to get back to Sherry. And so, you know, they're just so cute together, reading their old notes and just really going back down memory lane and all that other good stuff. But now that they're back together, I literally don't want anything tragic or bad to happen to them. And I knew in the beginning of this episode that if they were going to give us all this lovey-dovey stuff, that there was going to be some form of a conflict or maybe even something even more tragic. So I just knew. But you know, Dwight, he's like, he wants to live his best life with Sherry now. We see Sherry's aligned with this mysterious fraction of outlaws, should we say, or outcasts, because they're pretty much everybody that Virginia did not want to become Rangers and people that she ultimately wanted to kill. So she's running with this tandem of people that's looking like a group of people from Out the Purge or Casey from Ninja Turtles with their masks. Surprised no one didn't have a hockey stick at a point, to be honest. But Dwight's like, look, we should run away. And she's like, nah, she's can't. And he's like, what? And then, you know, obviously they get kidnapped. And I just thought that was just way overkill. Like, I didn't think there was no reason for her to have to do that. Like, you can tell the two of them, and rightfully so, they haven't seen each other in a long time, but there's like huge communication issues brewing up. And you can just see right from the beginning that they were going to continue to have that. But obviously the mission now is Virginia, taking out Virginia. And they have a plan. And the plan is to be able to take this heavy machined military tank, the MRAP, I think that's what it's called. And with them having that type of firepower, that does give them a chance to eventually, you know, not only be able to kill Virginia, but like even the playing field here. As you know, she has a ton of people, and it's just a hand group of this outcast here. But like that tank is very significant. And like when they talked about the tank, I was just like, okay, maybe it's a tank, maybe it's whatever. But like honestly, the scene we're talking about in 1 second, I was like, okay, yeah, this is no joke here. Like I can see some crazy things happening here. But yeah, so the MRAP is the plan in order to take that and obviously being able to use it against Virginia. Now, there's a lot of different things that to really bring about with this episode. Number one is that Dwight's not a punk anymore. And maybe he is, but when it comes down to his wife, he's not having that. You know, those days of being just a flunky and whatever to Negan is long gone. If you speak up on his wife or you speak up on Sherry, he's not having that. Point blank, period. So we just see him, a really aggressive side of him, standing up for himself, more or less for her, than we've ever seen. And so, you know, the more and more that people tried to test her, the more and more that we've seen Dwight really want to protect her. He loved her, and it just makes sense for him to be that way. But anyway, so the whole plan now is to be able to take the MRAP so they can have this type of weaponry in order to be able to wage war against Virginia. Now, if this ain't the most Fast and the Furious scene I've ever seen with them on horses, and I know Vin Diesel probably has to be having something like this coming up real soon, but them on horses getting ready to try to take this tank is straight out of the beginning of Fast and the Furious 5 when they were trying to take down the oil rig. But when he opened up that latch and that light machine gun came out, I was like, oh, they're screwed. They're so screwed. And that would have been crazy if that would have happened, because they were all significant characters too. So you would have thought like no one really is at expense here. There was only maybe one extra there. But like that machine gun was going to rip through the horse and everything. That was going to get crazy. But the fact that they was able to Dwight was able to board it and take it over was really cool. But man, my motherfucking man, Morgan, every time Morgan enters, it's just so cinematic and so meaningful. I get hyped every time I see Morgan. Like badass Morgan is back. And, you know, with him coming to the rescue, cattling up the guy, I just thought it was so cool. But after that too, like, you know, we all know what Morgan's purpose is. Morgan is trying to get the band back together. He's leaving everybody clues or whatnot. But, you know, while, you know, Dwight's purpose was to get Sherry, Morgan is truly looking for Grace. That's like his biggest thing. And whenever it comes down to it, it's no hiding the fact that he's like, where's everybody else at? But where's Grace? You know, so, you know, that's mainly his purpose. However, we also know that that Morgan is building a community or a sanctuary for everybody to eventually go to. That's the people that they saved from under Virginia, and that's also the people that we found out from the building from episode 3 now can leave out of that one building that they've been in their entire time, which is just kind of mind-blowing now that they have a safe spot to go to. So Morgan is definitely, you know, more or less becoming the savior of humanity here by having a place that he can provide shelter for everybody. So that's really cool. But anyway, with Morgan being here now we know that there's going to be a power struggle. And that's because you have too many different perspectives and too many different emotions attached here. Morgan doesn't want everybody to attack Virginia now because that knows that put everybody at risk, including their friends. And he wants to get their friends out first before they attack Virginia. And an outcast, should we say. They're like, we need to strike now, obviously led by Sherry's like, we need to attack now because they don't know we're coming. And even with the idea of them switching the plan of having them trying to bring Virginia out, they want to strike now. And now you have Dwight and Sherry at conflict because Sherry wants to protect Dwight from becoming the Dwight that he used to be. And Dwight wants to protect Sherry so she don't become who Dwight used to be. And then Morgan is trying to protect everybody from the idea of the war. So there's just so much conflict going on here that it's just a lot. But I gotta say, like, to be honest, I see both sides of the argument here. I don't necessarily agree with Sherry, but I kind of see their point. Also, the fact of like you did bring them out and you didn't attack, so now they know where you're kind of set up shop at. So that kind of puts you all at a vulnerable place as well. So like I don't know. Like that's like the con of it. Like obviously the pro is like Virginia's not there, so you really are just, you know, you're notifying her that plenty of her people didn't come back, and she know where they went. So you're about to bring the entire war to you. So it's not good. And they're not ready. That one truck that's hidden isn't like a real tank that can just roll over everything. You know what I mean? And not to mention, too, we also found out from Al that it also could be damaged by C4. So there you go. So it's really not as reliable as they think it could. But what's really important here is how, you know, Sherry really focuses on the idea that Negan took everything from her. And when you say took everything from her, it really took her pride, her power and everything. And this is her way of reclaiming it by wanting to do what she needs to do, and that's taking down Virginia. And that's even at the demise of her and Dwight going separate ways because they can't see eye to eye. But I will say this, like, I just don't understand how these two can actually take being separated from each other for granted, as if like you can always just find a person again. Like, they very luckily found each other. And the fact that you're just like, well, just go your separate way, I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't understand that you're angry and all, but like, yeah, you need to like reel it back just a little bit because like it's much deeper than that. Like a lot of people, safety and hell, we're in a zombie apocalypse here. Like everybody at any time, anything can happen. You just can't take these type of things for granted. So you're very lucky to have even found each other in the first place. But I will say, like, you know, the whole idea of like, you know, Dwight or Al saying to Dwight, she'll find your way back to you. Yeah, he's leaving signs and everything for him, staying hopeful. Like, Dwight's such a changed man. I love the Dwight character in the story arc. But like, I just didn't agree with them going their separate way. They had needed to solve that out. And now you have to think again. Now Virginia and the people they know that, you know, somebody must be there. They went during the night. They may eventually go back, and that may be a sneak attack on the Outcast. So you just never know here. And yes, they posing the idea that Al and Dwight have now been killed and whatever, but I just don't see it being enough. I can see this becoming tragic at some point. So I don't know. But folks, let me know in the comments what you thought about this episode. Like, honestly, who did you agree with? Do you think they should have tagged Virginia in, or you think they should have went and waited for the better opportunity, much like Morgan said, when they were able to pull out their friends? So that's really the big conflict with this. It definitely was a power struggle going on. I can see both sides here, but like, I don't know. Like the Outcast, I do not see it going good for them after this. And also the dog is free. I think that's really good too. But thank you so much for watching my review, folks, and I will see you all next week for episode 6.